Hello.
Hello. Mitch just asked a great question. There's currently a Zen garden. We are starting a cult, actually.
Yeah, we are starting a cult. That's Random Jake. Mitch is here for the first time in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute since Mitch has been around. But there, as we were saying, there's a Zen garden on this desk now, and
It's a triangle.
it comes with this little cube rock thing, and Mitch was wondering if we needed to rub it. And
I think it's a good idea.
for those of you out there, I know we talked some mad shit about you on the Patreon episode, I think. Or maybe it was the actual episode. I don't remember.
That was the real.
Was it a
one.
real
Yeah,
episode?
we were talking a lot of shit about crystals.
Yeah, but
crystal people.
are you supposed to rub them? Let me know, because I have one here, and I don't know how to treat it properly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
It's never been in the sun. I don't think it's charged.
no, it was in a box, and now it's just in here. But we're back for another delicious episode for you to devour with your conscious or maybe your subconscious. I don't know. Maybe you'll fall asleep while
Maybe
we
you're
talk.
asleep right now. Hello.
That's the best way to listen to shows because you don't have to listen to it, and we still get the credit for the download.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend just listening to all of our episodes while you're asleep because that makes us look really good, you
Maybe
know?
you just acquire the knowledge. Who knows?
Yeah, it might just like suck into your fucking skull. I don't know.
Like so many vacuum cleaners.
However, today we are going to be covering an episode that we've referenced in a lot of different ways and we've kind of brought up in different episodes, but it's getting its own episode here right now. Obviously, if you can read, you know that it's something along the lines of the idea of the hollow earth theory, okay?
With Admiral Byrd.
Mm-hmm. I want you guys to know this, okay? The hollow earth theory is not real. And I say this in the sense that the theory is real, but it's never been proven that this is real.
So who knows?
It's on the same... I mean, I like the hollow earth theory. I think it's interesting. I enjoy it a lot more than other ones, but if you want to get technical, it's on the same level as the flat earth theory. It just doesn't have the bandwagon nonsense with it. You know what I'm saying? But it does exist, and it predates a lot of things. I mean, since Mitch thinks that it's easier to prove that the Earth is not flat, and he's 100% factual.
Yeah, Mitch, you don't need to say things to the side. The whole thing is like we're talking.
Yeah, he doesn't.
You're just talking to the microphone.
He doesn't want to interrupt us, but the truth is, that's what this show is. It should just be called Interruption Hour. We just kind of talk.
We're here to interrupt you.
But the hollow Earth theory goes back thousands upon thousands of years in different ways. Just a little quick bit here. In biblical terms, in Judeo-Christian terms, there are many different religions that truly believe that hell is, underground. It's below the earth. Nowadays, that's not so much common practice. I'd say that's a little bit more... It's much more metaphysical than that. It's like, it's just, it's just hell. That's just where you
hell
go.
Hell is other people. Wasn't that Sartre or something?
Right. But, you go back, probably the best example would be the Divine Comedy, where we go to hell. And that is actually underground. And when you get to the lowest circle of hell, it is a giant pit of ice. Okay?
So cold, yeah.
So contrary to what science would have you believe, it's actually just a big ice ball down there. Okay, that's what Dante says. But again, see, it is funny. I was reading a little bit about it just because it comes up a lot, believe it or not, in Hollow Earth research because people refer to that as one of the most common stories or commonly known stories that references the idea of something being below the Earth's surface. And but what people miss is that that was not written as fact. That was a satirical book. But, that's neither here nor there. But I guess it is interesting because it's old. It's a timepiece.
Old as shit, yeah.
It is a timepiece. Then we get into some of the more, I guess, contemporary-ish compared to that. We're going to, like the Norse mythology, the way they believe is that the underworld is divided into different sections and they're underground, things of that nature. And possibly, it's never been said that the Egyptians believed in the hollow earth or the underground afterlife, but there are mentions of certain aspects of their afterlife taking place underground. So this isn't something that just popped up in, like, the 1800s. They're like, what if there's just a city in the middle of the earth right now? It's been discussed throughout the ages that possibly there might be something that maybe you could physically go to, or maybe, it's something upon death.
I mean, it's definitely a more tangible way to look at death. It's like, yeah, there's a city in the earth. It's like, maybe that's why we're buried there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It gives you that homey touch.
Like, I got the key.
But we're not here to sit here and bore you with the details of, ancient possibilities of underground life.
Not this time, no.
No. We are here to just kind of talk about the interestingly wild ride of an individual and some of the more outlandish things that has been said about what might take place below your very feet. Before we get into that, I want to say this, okay? Obviously, for those of you out there that are more critically minded, you don't really buy into a lot of the nonsense here. This is considered a pseudoscience, okay? And for those, I mean, we all know that term in this room, right? Everybody, you've heard that term?
Yes.
Well, pseudoscience is exactly the way it sounds. It's something that follows, the typical method of things that the scientific method would follow, but has never been able to be proven that it actually has a function in society. So a couple of examples, like astrology, that is a pseudoscience. There's people that believe it. There's plenty of coincidences that might prove to an individual that, it has merit, but it's never been scientifically proven that astrology is anything more than just a series of coincidences.
You think alchemy would fall under the same category?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Turning shit into gold is
alchemy is pseudoscience. Now, however, on the flip side, there's a lot of pseudoscience out there. Hollow Earth falls into that. Flat Earth falls into that. But I also want to this is probably the biggest example out there. I don't know if you guys know this, but chiropractors are technically pseudoscientific.
All right.
The act of chiropractic studies.
Chiropractician, maybe.
That is, it falls under the umbrella of a pseudoscience. But for those of you that have ever been to a chiropractor, you know that they're very real. They do things that can really help some pain levels.
They charge you real money.
Oh, well, they do that.
Yes.
But I'll be honest with you. There's not an expansive list of things similar to chiropractors that are, pseudoscientific. But there are things out there that have real-world knowledge and experience that are pseudoscience. Another example is dieting. The idea of dieting is a pseudoscience. It's not proven to work, but everybody tries it. You know what I'm saying? For those of you out there, the new diet craze, fasting. Fasting is actually a pseudoscience.
Intermittent fasting or just fasting in general? Just like
both
you just don't eat.
Both
like
of them.
Ever.
Both of them.
Wow.
Well, yeah, they just categorize them as one because it's like the same idea, just with extra steps.
Yeah.
But those are both scientifically unproven to do anything to the human body. Now, that doesn't mean they don't work. I mean, we all, everybody knows people that diet or do this or do that. But maybe it doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? Maybe it does. Who knows? That's the fun of life.
Everyone's different.
Everything's a little unique for everybody. So, with all that being said, you have a little bit of an understanding of pseudoscience is a wide umbrella, okay? It catches catches a lot of things that aren't real, which would, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you that the Earth is not flat. Okay, I'm sorry. How
could you?
I am no scientist. I am not saying that I'm not open to discussion about it. All I'm saying, I'm a globe cuck. I get it. All I'm gonna say is that it ain't. It just ain't.
Everyone knows that the Earth is a cube. Remember that episode we had cube Earthers?
That is true.
We got that going
some
for
cubers
us. I
out
think
there.
that's probably
Cuberts.
what's real.
But with all that being said, we have a little bit of an idea here that there's the majority of people out there in this world will immediately deny anything that we say in this episode simply based off of the idea that there's no scientific evidence. And I understand that. However, like with most of our episodes,
shut up.
I want you to just relax.
Yeah.
Just take a chill pill. Take your personal opinions, take your personal beliefs, put them to the side. Let this kind of just ooze into your head. Just let it just drip all over your body like a cracked egg. Just let it, flow freely. And then afterwards, I would very much like you to make an opinion and, just kind of have your own mindset.
Yeah, live a little. Get lost in the goo.
Let yourself hear, perspectives of the world. And then that'll, it'll strengthen or possibly weaken your perspective. But that's what perspective is. So with that being said, Jake, why don't we move into the interesting character himself. I call him Little Byrd because he's not as large as Big Byrd, and there's not many people that have that name.
He's not a very tall man. No, he's just kind of average.
He isn't a bird, though. I want you to all be very aware of that. He's
BYRD.
He is a human male that does human things.
Theoretically, some of them. Well, that was a hell of a 12-minute intro.
Yeah, it was.
Let's do Admiral E. Byrd, Richard E. Byrd, Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd Jr. He was born on October 25th of 1888. It was a long-ass fucking time ago.
In a town called Kickapoo.
I wish. No, it's Winchester, Virginia. He was the middle child of his two brothers, Tom and Harry. So, in order of birth, they were literally named Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
Tom doesn't fit that scheme. If his name was Very, then it'd be better.
Very Dick and Harry?
Very Dick Harry.
Very Harry Dick. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, but we can't change that. The order.
We can't change any of this. It's already happened.
Barry McCockiner.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
So his father was a Commonwealth attorney, and the family had a beautiful garden and a private stable for the boys' ponies.
I have a garden, and it's just sand.
It is sand. You're twiddling with it right now. But yeah, when they said they had like private things for the ponies, I was like, oh shit, so like luxurious, so rich. But
yeah,
now it's the year, it's 1888. I'm like, wait, that was probably just standard, wasn't it?
You got a lot of you have an interesting life if you can afford, not only if you can afford to have horses, but if you can afford to pamper those horses. That's a
and have a pony for each boy.
That is an entirely different ball game. Okay, that is just a whole new world.
There you go.
Did you guys used to think that ponies were just baby horses?
They're not?
Nope.
No, yeah, I used to think that totally.
I think, yeah, obviously. But I would see the thing about
they're
ponies.
So much smaller. They're just horses, though.
The thing about ponies is that, like, to me personally, a baby horse is still a pony. It just grows out of it. But they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, what do they call it? Like a horselet?
Exactly.
What do they call it?
A baby horse can be a pony. It is a pony.
A horse cub.
But
maybe.
They grow out of it. But there are ponies that don't grow out of being a pony. They're like it's like a ho-ho and actually it's not like a ho-ho and a ding dong
like
at
the
all.
Hostess treats you love.
They're two very different things. But it's shut up.
It's kind of like zebra cakes in the name.
How? In what way?
Right. In any case, yeah, we got ponies. We got some fun childhood details there, but let's just get into the guy and what he did later.
Can we talk about ponies again?
We can talk about ponies as long as you want.
I just want to know. I just want to know. Can we all agree that a baby horse, regardless of what size it will be, is a pony? Yeah. Okay. All
yes.
right. We all agree to that. That's fine. Okay.
Done.
We can move on.
Signed.
Wrong, but
Sealed.
I listen to. I don't care. I don't
Deliver.
need. I don't need proof. Okay. I'm a flat earther in that way. I'm a pony. I'm a pony truther. All right. You're gonna fucking be real with me here.
Yeah, so just some fun childhood details there. Admiral Byrd he was remembered in history. He is remembered in history for his many expeditions to the Antarctic and the North and South Poles. Right, so he was just flying, and it was really cold.
Those are all not fun places to go. They sound
truly.
interesting, but especially back then, they're not where you want to be.
It's true.
They didn't have heated, insulated buildings with Wi-Fi. Okay, they had nothing. It was
No,
just
yeah,
like,
they had nothing. No one was interested in him except after he went there, because
Didn't
he's
even have-
largely
they didn't even have fucking planes. It was just like, get in this boat. Just
after
show
him.
up.
After him, man, he had the plane. He took it there. He was largely responsible for American interest, both public and governmental, in the polar explorations and science, due to his highly publicized stunt flights, such as flying to the North Pole from Russia and back on a single tank of fuel. It took like 15 and a half hours.
Damn, that's a big tank, bro.
Right?
I can't even go a week without having to get gas. I don't know how this fucking guy's doing that.
Yeah, it was never done by anyone previous. Let's see. He also he served in both World War I and World War II and was heavily decorated. There's a long ass list of medals. Congressional Gold Medal, Legion of Merit, Distinguished Flying Cross, Navy Distinguished Service Medal, Navy Cross, as well as the Medal of Honor. He got the Medal of Honor. So this guy was great. He was an ambitious guy, but we're not going to spend too much time on him, because this episode focuses mostly on what happened in a specific expedition in 1947, February 19th, as a part of Operation High Jump. And
It's the one where they taught all those infants how to jump really high.
Yeah, this is the ultimate Olympic training.
And they would jump so high that they would distract Hitler for about 45 seconds, and then they could just,
That's time enough.
just
That's
swoop
more
right
than
in.
time enough.
That was the goal.
Yeah. So Admiral Byrd, during this particular expedition, he had his own personal diary and a flight log that he kept, and we're just gonna go into that. Let's just start reading that. So the flight log, Base Camp, Arctic, 2/19/1947, 600 hours. All preparations are complete for our flight northward, and we are airborne with full fuel tanks at 6:10 hours.
Okay.
There we go. Very normal. 6:20 hours. Fuel mixture on starboard engine seems too rich. Adjustments made by Pratt Whitney's are running smoothly. Everything's still fine. 7:30 hours. Radio check with base camp. All is well and radio reception is normal. Pretty normal stuff. 7:40 hours. Note slight leak of oil from the starboard engine. Oil pressure indicator seems normal, however. So this is all just very boring, as you can see.
And that's the episode. It's just him flying
Isn't
around.
that crazy?
How, you guys aren't going to believe it. He got there in 15 and a half hours. Can you believe that? That was just...
Can you believe it?
All right, we'll see you next week. See you later.
next week. 800 hours. Slight turbulence noted from easterly direction at altitude of 23-21 feet. Correction to 1,700 feet. No further turbulence, but tailwind increases. Slight adjustment in throttle controls. Aircraft performing very well now. 8:15 hours, sorry. Radio check with base camp. Situation normal. Takes a while. 8:30 hours. Turbulence again. Don't you hate that? Increased altitude to 2900 feet. Smooth flight conditions again. Alright, okay. So 9-10 hours. Vast ice and snow below. Note coloration of yellow nature. And disperse in a linear pattern. Altering course for better examination of this color pattern below. Note also a reddish and purple color. Strange. Circle this area 2 full turns and return to assigned compass heading. Position check made again for base camp and relay information concerning colorations in the ice and snow below. 9, 10 hours again. It's the same time. He should have just made this the same note. Both magnetic and gyro compasses beginning to gyrate and wobble.
Isn't that what a gyration compass is supposed to do? Or maybe I'm
Probably.
just ignorant to what that term is.
Or in the order of what it is, it's both magnetic and gyro, and then gyrate and wobble. So maybe the magnetic one is gyrating while the gyro is wobbling.
Oh, see,
So things are all out of whack.
it's backwards. I wouldn't really think magnet would wobble, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, things do happen. I don't know.
I have no idea what's going on
But
here.
a gyro is gonna gyro. That's what it does. It's gonna gyro. That's just how it goes.
I don't know, maybe
Now
you
I
screwed
want
it
a
up.
fucking gyro, and I know I'm not pronouncing that to your guys' likings, but I don't care.
Some nice tzatziki and feta. Nice.
Someone out there is like, he's saying it wrong. Yes, I know. Okay?
Everyone's saying it wrong. It's not even real.
I know I'm saying it wrong, but
That
I'm okay
sandwich
with
has
it.
never been and never will be. Anyway, we are unable to hold our heading by instruments because of these compasses fucking up. So take bearing with sun compass. Yet all seems well. The controls are seemingly slow to respond and have sluggish quality, but there is no indication of icing.
Like a cake?
cake. Yes, like a cake.
These cookies are unfrosted. I must land now. Where is the nearest
We need
bakery?
a bakery, yeah. So 9:15 hours. In the distance is what appears to be mountains. This is where it starts ramping. All right. 9:49 hours. 29 minutes elapsed. Flight time from the first sighting of the mountains. And it is no illusion. There are mountains and consisting of small ranges that I have never seen before. So these are new mountains. You found some mountains up there in the Arctic. 9:55 hours, altitude changed to 2950 feet, encountering strong turbulence again. 10 or 1,000, is it 1,000 hours or 1,000?
It'd be like 1000.
It's like
I
10
don't-
o'clock.
Uh,
Why do we keep having to do this military bullshit?
yeah,
It's 10 o'clock
a.m.
at this time.
It's 10 a.m.
All right, so we are crossing over a small mountain range and still proceeding northward as best we can, as best as can be ascertained, rather. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with small rivers or streams running through it, through the center portion. There should be no... Wait. Yeah, there should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning, and the gyroscope is oscillating. See, it's not doing the right thing, Grant.
It's oscillating.
Back and forth.
It's not even fucking wobbling anymore. It's oscillating now. It's a whole different ballgame.
It's doing all these different things.
Whole different ballgame, folks. I hope you're ready, because, it's fucking oscillating. It's not good.
10:05
Oscillation continues.
a.m. or 1,005 hours. It's so stupid. Why can't we just... All right, anyway.
It's 10:15. They're still serving
It's
fucking...
10:05.
There's 10:05.
10:05.
They're still serving McGriddles in most places,
Yeah, everything's fine. So, 10:05 hours. He says, I alter altitude to 1,400 feet and execute a sharp left turn to better examine the valley below. It is green with either moss or some type of tight-knit grass. The light there seems different. I cannot see the sun anymore. He can't see the sun. The sun's gone. So we make another left turn and we spot what seems to be a large animal of some kind below us. It appears to be an elephant. No! It looks more like a mammoth. This is incredible, yet there it is. There it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet and take out binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed it is definitely a mammoth-like creature. Report this to base camp. So he reported this. He's like, there's a fucking mammoth out here, and it's like the goddamn Amazon.
Yeah, that's
He's in the Arctic. Why is this a thing?
That's weird. It's weird. I have a theory that I'll hold on to here for a minute.
All right. So 10:30 a.m. Encountering more rolling green hills now, the external temperature indicator reads 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a balmy 74. Okay. Continuing on our heading now. Navigation instruments seem normal now. I am puzzled over their actions. Attempt to contact base camp. Radio is not functioning. So the radio's out. No connection. He's on his own. All right. So an hour later. This is not... Jesus Christ. 11:30. Countryside below is more level and normal, if I may use that word. Ahead we spot what seems to be a city. This is impossible. Aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. So the controls refuse to respond. My God. Off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside, and they are a disc shape and have a radiant quality to them. They are close enough now to see the markings on them. It is a type of swastika. This is fantastic. So those two sentences are right next to each other. Is a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What has happened? I tug at the controls again, and they will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some type. So this is very much getting more exciting, wouldn't you say?
I would say...
Because he's just in the Arctic.
I do want to clarify. I mean, I don't know this guy personally, but I'm pretty confident that statement, it's some type of swastika, how fantastic. I don't think he was approving of the swastika. I think it was more like...
It's the older way of using the word fantastic.
It's more...
It's like a fantasy.
It's more like, holy shit. Guys, it's a swastika. This guy fought in World War II, okay? He was not a German, so it's he's fine. Give him a pass.
After swastika is 4 exclamation points. And then this is fantastic.
Okay, maybe
period.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I don't know what that
Nazi.
says about it. I'm just telling you that,
I'm not sure what this guy's deal is, I don't know what he's into.
I have no idea. All right, 11:35 a.m. Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what perhaps is a slight Nordic or German accent. The message is, "Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral, you are in good hands. I note that the engines of our plane have stopped running. The aircraft is under some sort of strange control and is now turning itself. The controls are useless." So he's just being taken somewhere by these, what sound like Nazi UFOs. All right, that's just what they sound like, in my opinion. Another radio message is received at 11:40 a.m. We begin the landing process now, and in moments the plane shudders slightly and begins to descend as though caught in some sort of great unseen elevator. The downward motion is negligible, and we touch down with only a slight jolt. Grant, you're falling asleep. Your eyes are closed. I see.
Nope, I'm just listening.
All right.
I don't want to be distracted. I'm very distracted, so I'm listening.
All right, 11:45 hours. You gotta get that Zen garden away from you. It's taking your. It's a mind virus.
It's taking my.
It's
my
taking
soul.
You away.
That's why I'm just I'm sitting. I'm not laying here. I'm just sitting here with my eyes closed.
All right.
I'm envisioning.
You're like rocking as if you're consoling yourself.
These UFO Nazis. I'm like really taking it in. I'm eating it up like it's mind soup.
Yes, good. 11:45 a.m. I am making a hasty last entry into the flight log. Several men are approaching on foot towards the aircraft. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance is a large shimmering city pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what is going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching. I hear now a voice ordering me to, by name to open the cargo door. I comply. Okay, so that's the end of the log. But from here, he has like a little account that he wrote out of what happened after this, because, after I read through it, you'll realize why he cannot write this down.
Yeah.
All right. Where do we start? He says, "From this point, I write all the following events here from memory. It defies the imagination. It would seem all but madness if it did not happen. The radio man and I are taken from the aircraft, and we are received in the most cordial of manner. We were then boarded onto a small platform-like conveyance with no wheels. It's just a floating platform. It moves us towards the glowing city with great swiftness. All right, very fast. As we approach, the city seems to be made of crystal material, so a crystal city. Soon we arrive at a large building that is a type I have never seen before. It appears to be right out of the design board for Frank Lloyd Wright, or perhaps more correctly, out of a Buck Rogers setting. Do you know who either of those men are?
I know Frank Lloyd Wright. Buck Rogers, that name sounds familiar, but if you asked me that question, I have no idea.
Yeah. All right, well, it looks like that. So we are given some type of
I thought you were going to answer that question. I was like, well, waiting for it.
Nope, I'm waiting for the answers from you.
Frank Lloyd Wright's an architect. I know that. He does some weird fucking buildings.
There you go. So it's a weird building he's seeing.
I think that, is he still alive, actually? I don't know.
No idea. Mitch, are you on the case?
But Buck Rogers, I can't say I know who that is.
Yeah, Buck Rogers setting, I'm assuming. Sci-fi movies. It's very sci-fi-ish.
All right, so we have
cool.
like sci-fi architecture.
Yeah,
okay?
very sci-fi architecture made of crystals, and he's being taken there on a floating platform really quick. So, we are given some type of warm beverage, which tastes like nothing I've ever savored before.
Ayahuasca.
It is delicious. That's what it says. So, after about 10 minutes, two of our wondrous appearing hosts come to our quarters and announce that I am to accompany them. All right? So he's going with these people. They're blonde. They're tall. I have no choice but to comply. All right? So I leave my radio men behind, and we walk a short distance and enter into what seems to be an elevator. We descend downward for some moments, and the machine stops, and the door lifts silently upward. We then proceed down the long hallway that is lit by a rose-colored light that seems to be emanating from the very walls themselves. It kind of sounds like he just wandered into like a rave.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you think?
He's
there's
just
crystals, there's rainbows, there's lit up walls. What are you talking about?
There's glow sticks and fucking nitrous balloons and
Poppers.
man, I'm having a great time.
Molly, there's some dead people on the ground.
This EDM band is going crazy. This is great.
There's like audio of crying babies and shit. It's weird. All right, so they're emanating from themselves. They're the rose-colored pink walls. One of the beings motions for us to stop before a great door. Over the door is an inscription that I cannot read. The great door slides noiselessly up, and I am beckoned to enter. One of my hosts speaks. Have no fear, Admiral. You are to have an audience with the Master. Why would that not make you fearful?
Yeah, I guess
you know, like
point.
just any authority figure, whether it's not who is this Master? It's like, no, don't worry, he's just in charge of everything. It seems a bit, no, it's not right at all. So I step inside. My eyes adjust to the beautiful coloration that seems to be filling the room completely. Then I begin to see my surroundings. Okay. What greeted my eyes is the most beautiful sight in my entire existence. It is, in fact, too beautiful and wondrous to describe. It is exquisite and delicate. I don't know. I don't think there exists a human term that could describe it in any detail with justice. So this guy is just blown away.
It was Mario
He has some
Lopez.
sort of boner, whether it's like metaphysical or physical. Either way, this guy is loving what he's seeing.
I'm telling you, it was Mario Lopez. That's what it was.
It's just the walls are Mario Lopez. Apparently Mitch was going to say a pair of tits. Yeah, I guess Mario Lopez is the pair of tits of Mitchell.
It's Mario Lopez with enormous breasts.
That's just the
It's
best,
the best
case
of both
scenario.
worlds.
Yeah. All right, so this guy was loving whatever he was seeing, and he doesn't go on to describe exactly what it was. He just keeps saying, like, there's not a human term. Anyway, my thoughts are interrupted in a cordial manner by a warm, rich voice of melodious quality. All right, I bid
Josh
you...
Groban, what are you doing here?
I bid you welcome to our domain, Admiral. I see a man with delicate features and with the etching of years upon his face. So he's an old guy. He's an older guy. It's great. He is seated at a long table. He motions for me to sit down in one of the chairs. After I'm seated, he places his fingertips together and smiles. He speaks softly again and conveys the following. We have let you...
It's always
Oh,
says.
jeez.
It's like, what the fuck was that?
It's like it was just a series of dolphin noises. No, so we have... here's what he said, all right? So we have let you enter here because you are of noble character and well known on the surface world, Admiral. And Admiral says, Surface world? I have...
Hardly knew her.
He half gasped under his breath.
You didn't get that joke down here yet, guys? It's coming. It's good.
You
It's
get
a
it?
good one.
You understand? Anyway, so yes, the master replies with a smile. You are in the domain of the Ariani, the inner world of the earth. Isn't that crazy? We shall no longer delay your mission, and you will be safely escorted back to the surface, and for the distance beyond. But now, Admiral, I shall tell you why you have been summoned here. Our interests rightly begin just after your race exploded the first atomic bomb over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. Or Hiroshima. I don't know how it's pronounced.
I'd say Hiroshima. I get flack for it from Georgie, but it's both. I don't care. You
You know
say
what?
both.
That's fine. Either way. It was at that alarming time we sent our flying machines, the Fluggelrads. The Fluggelrads.
Fluggelrags? Yeah.
The Fluggelrads.
I got one of those.
Yeah.
It's only like 70,000. It's really not that expensive anymore.
Yeah, it's just a Nazi UFO.
But I got the Fluggelrag XV. It's like the newer model. It's pretty sick. I ain't gonna lie.
Fucking slam that shit and
Pretty
tin
sick.
out the windows. Anyway, they sent these machines. Here, let's go back. It was at this alarming time we sent our flying machines, the Fluggelrads.
Yeah, the Fluggelgoogles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to your surface world to investigate what your race had done. What have you done, they said. This is, of course, past history now, my dear Admiral. This was 2 years after it happened. Yeah, dear Admiral, but I must continue on. You see, we have never interfered before with your race's wars or barbarity, but now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely that of atomic energy.
Okay.
Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the powers of the world, and yet they are not heeded. Okay, we're not heeding these powers, worlds, fucking shit. It's not, no one's listening. All right? So now you have been chosen to be witness to what our world, that our world does exist. All right, you see, our culture and science is many thousands of years beyond your race, Admiral. And Admiral interrupts, he says, but what does this have to do with me, sir? All right, that's what he says. He's getting kind of agitated.
And he looks at him and he says, poo poo pee pee. You must go.
He said, where's the beef? So
You must go. And thus the greatest commercial ever created by man
I really
was
just
born.
want to buy a Honda. But anyway, so yeah, the master's eyes seemed to penetrate deeply into my mind, and after studying me for a few moments, he replied, your race has now reached the point of no return, for there are those among you who would destroy your very world rather than relinquish their power as they know it. So isn't that fun? He said, I nodded.
I agreed.
I nodded.
Yeah.
And the master continued, all right? In 1945 and afterwards, we tried to contact your race, but our efforts were met with hostility.
We just kept leaving voicemails, and they just weren't returning our calls. One guy even fucking went to the North Pole and left a bag of dog poop on fire at the entrance. And
Disrespectful.
It was
very
so
disrespectful.
rude. So rude.
Yeah, met with hostility. Our Fluggelrads were fired upon. We're shooting at these Nazi aliens, all right?
Well, yeah, I mean, bro, you're brandishing a Nazi fucking
Yeah, you
symbol.
can't really do that anymore.
It might not even be the UFO thing. It might be the Nazi thing. That's like, oh, God, they're
it's
back.
not your fault. The Nazis ruined it, but just know that. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Just keep that in
I mean,
mind.
chances are you probably had it first, but their name is also very similar to the Aryans. So,
Yeah.
it's all connecting.
Yeah, the Fluggelrads were fired upon. Yes, even pursued with malice and animosity by your fighter planes. So now I say to you, my son, There is a great storm gathering in your world, a black fury that will not spend itself for many years. There will be no answer in your arms. Okay? There will be no safety in your science. It may rage on until every flower of your culture is trampled. So he's going to trample our garden. And all human things are leveled in vast chaos. So this is very poetic and beautiful. But it's all terrible. It sounds awful. Your recent war was only the prelude to what is yet to come of your race. We here see it a little more clearly with each other. Do you say I am mistaken? So what do you say, Grant? You say he's mistaken?
No.
No, that's exactly what Admiral Byrd said. He said no.
I think, this guy's making a lot of sense. I'm on his side.
No, yeah. And then it gets into some weird shit. He's like, no.
Madonna will fall at the Super Bowl performance halftime show.
Good God.
There will be a wardrobe malfunction with Miss One Jackson, and it will be all over the news. It's like, oh my God. Not Janet.
Oh no, the Jackson name is now disparaged for that one reason.
You know nothing of Bill Cosby's secret life.
Good Lord. Would that be insane? Oh God. All right, so Admiral Byrd said, no, I answer. It happened once before. The Dark Ages came, and they lasted for more than 500 years. That's Admiral Byrd saying that. What is he talking about? Do you know?
Maybe like the
Grant?
Renaissance?
Like, that's what I was thinking, but I'm like, that's so weird that he would just immediately
or maybe he
without even clarification, he's like, yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Maybe he's like referencing the actual Dark Ages, like ancient times of just like all out like war, maybe colonization, something like that.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, Mitch wanted me to repeat it. So the master, he's like, oh, do you think we're mistaken? And then Admiral Byrd was like, no. It happened once before, and the Dark Ages came, and they lasted for more than 500 years. Isn't that super? That's crazy.
Maybe Admiral Byrd knows something that we don't know. Maybe he knows about, ancient technology.
I don't know what wavelength he's on, but him and the Master are on the same one.
Yeah,
because he just said, yes, my son.
He's way above my pay grade, man. Yeah. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he said, yes, my son, replied the Master. The Dark Ages that will come now for your race will cover the earth like a pall. You know what a pale? A P-A-L-L? You know what that is?
A pall?
A pall? Like a pallbearer?
I don't think like that.
I don't think so either. I've never seen this word in my life.
I'm assuming it's some type of tree, perhaps, like a large tree.
Mitch, can you look up a pall?
P-A-L-L. I don't know what that
is. Anyway, so this dark age is going to cover the earth like one of those. But I believe that, this is the Master speaking, but I believe that some of your race will live through the storm. Beyond that, I cannot say. We see at a great distance in the new world, stirring from the ruins of your race, seeking its lost and legendary treasures, and they will be here, my sons, safe and in our keeping. What was that, Mitch?
We got two definitions here: a cloth that is spread over a coffin, hearse, or tomb, and it could also mean a dark cloud or covering of smoke, dust, or similar matter.
You know what? Both those fit.
Okay.
Both those fit quite nicely, actually. All right, well.
I'm going to go with the cloth one. That one sounds more, it's more poetic, you know?
Yeah, it's more fun. He's talking about the legendary treasures.
It's going to be a death blanket.
Death blankets all up the ass. So, he's talking about legendary treasures. He's like, yes, my son. He keeps calling him his son. Maybe he's God. I don't know. Safe in our keeping, so they have all the treasures. They have everything that they could ever want down there, says the Master.
They have our entire backlog of episodes saved on a hard drive down there.
Exactly. We are really big on the center of the earth. That's where we get most of our views. But, so, this is still the Master talking. When that time arrives, we shall come forward again and help revive your culture and your race. Perhaps by then you will have learned the futility of war and its strife. And after that time, certain of your culture and science will be returned. Certain of your culture and science will be returned for your race to begin anew. You, my son again, what the fuck, are to return to the surface world with this message. So he's like, basically, you're beyond the point of return. Everything's going to get super fucked up, but eventually we're going to come out and help you. Just go let them know. So that's basically what the master says. Okay? Master. Yeah. All right, so with these closing words, our meeting seemed to end. I stood for a moment as in a deem. I think he meant dream, as in a deem. But yet I knew this was reality. And for some strange reason, I bowed slightly, either out of respect or humility. I do not know which. So he's bowing. He's bowing. All right, so suddenly I was again aware that the two beautiful hosts who had brought me there were again by my side. This way, Admiral, motioned one. I turned once more before leaving and looked back towards the master. A gentle smile with the etch was etched on his delicate and ancient face. Farewell, my son. My son again. He spoke, then gestured with a lovely, slender hand of emotion, of peace, and our meeting was truly ended. So he's leaving the master's chamber. All right, so quickly we walked back through the great door of the master's chamber and once again entered into the elevator. The door slid silently downward, and we were once again going upward.
That's the second time he mentioned that the elevator doors were silent.
I guess elevators were loud as shit back then.
I feel they're still pretty loud today. Like there's no silent elevators.
Yeah.
And I think that this guy was onto something. Like he really thought that's where he knew it was real. He's like, man, these elevators are too good.
That's why the fucking
can't
doors
be
in
here.
like Star Trek were so like crazy to people, and they're like, yeah, they have two people on either side pulling them apart, but they're just completely silent.
Yeah, that
Star
doesn't
Trek
happen.
blew the minds of a whole generation.
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't. So, let's see. Where are we? We got the two motions, and they're in there, and they're going up the door. It's silent. All right, wait a minute. God damn it. I spoke again. Quickly we walked past the great door of the master's chamber, and once again we entered the elevator, and the door slid silently downward. That's where we were, and we were at once going upward, all right? So one of my hosts spoke again. We must now make haste, Admiral, as the master's desire to delay you they've run out. It's no longer. You have to be on your schedule, your timetable.
We don't want you here anymore,
yeah,
bro.
you must return with this message to your race, okay? So Admiral was just like, you know what? I said nothing. I said nothing. All of this was almost beyond belief, and once again my thoughts were interrupted as we stopped. I entered the room and was again with my radio man, and he had an anxious expression on his face. As I approached, I said, "It's all right, Howie. It's all right." So he's consoling Howie in this moment.
That'll do, Howie. That'll do.
That'll do, Howie. So the two beings motioned us towards the awaiting conveyance. We boarded, and we soon arrived back at the aircraft. The engines were idling, and we were boarded immediately. The whole atmosphere seemed charged now with a certain air of urgency. After the cargo door was closed and the aircraft was immediately lifted by that unseen force, until we reached an altitude of 2,700 feet. Two of the aircrafts were alongside the Nazi UFOs. Two of the aircrafts were alongside for some distance, guiding us on our return way. I must state here the airspeed indicator registered no reading, yet we were moving along at a very rapid rate. Okay, so they're going quick. The Nazi UFOs are carrying them. This is great. All right, so this is where it comes back in with the timestamps. All right, so this is 2:15. So this all happened within like 2 hours, something like that. 2:15, a radio message comes through. We are leaving you now, Admiral. Your controls are free. Auf Wiedersehen. Wiedersehen?
Auf Wiedersehen.
You know, one of those. Auf Wiedersehen. All right, we watched for a moment as the Fluggelrads, I can never pronounce this, Fluggelrads disappeared into the pale blue sky. The aircraft suddenly felt as though it caught in a sharp downdraft for a moment, and we quickly recovered her control. So we do not speak for some time. Each man has his thoughts. Okay?
All right.
So 5 minutes later. There's so much shit. All right, so 5 minutes later. Radio message, Auf Wiedersehen, all that stuff. So we are again over vast areas of ice and snow and approximately 27 minutes from base camp. We radio them. They respond. We report all conditions normal. Normal. That's actually written in there with the dots. It's normal. Normal. Yeah. So it's really, it seems like he's writing a movie. But base camp expresses relief at our reestablished contact. 3 o'clock. We land smoothly at base camp. I have a mission. All right? That's the end of the log.
So, yeah, he was only gone for a couple of hours. That's real, well, on Earth time, I should say.
Yeah.
Surface Earth time.
So that's like the diary about the expedition. Mm-hmm. He has a couple other entries afterward. You want me to read those? Because that's where it kind of gets a little juicy when it comes to the government.
I say go for it.
All right, you know what? On March 11th of 1947, I have just attended a staff meeting at the Pentagon. I've stated fully my discovery and the message from the master. All is duly recorded. The president has been advised. I am now detained for several hours. 6 hours and 39 minutes to be exact. I am interviewed intently by top security forces and a medical team. It was an ordeal with 6 exclamation points. I am placed under strict control via the national security provisions of the United States of America. I am ordered to remain silent in regard to all of what I have learned on the behalf of humanity. Incredible. I am reminded that I am a military man and I must obey orders.
Yes.
So they told him to shut the fuck up.
Pretty much,
basically.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's just what the military's going to do. I mean, you could find a fucking number 2 pencil and they're going to be like, whose is this? So like, don't ever speak of that again. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. All right, so this is the final entry, okay? Oh, everything's going wrong. So, these last few years elapsed because he made this December 30th of 1956 is his final entry into this. These last few years elapsed since 1947 have not been kind. All right, I now make my final entry in this singular diary. In closing, I must state that I have faithfully kept this matter secret as directed all these years. It has been completely against my values and moral right. Now I seem to sense a long night coming on, and this secret will not die with me. But as all truth shall, it will triumph, and so it shall.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I'm in a weird spot. That's the last entry you said, right?
Well, there's a little bit more, but it's a lot more of the impending doom stuff. It's like, I'll just read it. This can be the only hope for mankind. I have seen the truth, and it's quickened my spirit and has set me free. I have done my duty towards the monstrous military-industrial complex. Now the long night begins to approach, but there shall be no end. Terrible. So just as the long night of the Arctic ends, the brilliant sunshine of truth shall come again, and those who are of darkness shall fall in its light. For I have seen the land beyond the pole, that center of the great unknown. And that's it. He signs off. He's like, Admiral Richard E. Byrd, United States Navy, 24 December of 56.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. That's what we're fucking talking about.
I gotta be honest. Listening to this whole story here,
That had to have been like 3 pages.
No, yeah, it was.
It's
pretty,
like not like a substantial amount of information at all, but it's like, holy shit.
It's a lot to digest. It's not a lot to like read. It's just a lot to see.
I really need to get better at reading.
Oh, you did fine, man. You did perfectly fine. I'm gonna say this. To be completely honest with you, as far as the show goes, I feel as if in a very unprecedented turn of events, I don't particularly want to give an opinion on this. I really don't.
Really?
I don't. I feel that this story kind of speaks for itself. It should be what the listener wants it to be. I don't want to sway anybody.
So you think this is a true form of art?
I do. I think.
Story.
I think. I'll tell you this. I'll be honest. It's slightly a cop out because I haven't even fully digested it yet. It's going to take me a couple days to like sit on this and be like, do I believe that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very strange things surrounding it, too. I mean, like, me and Mitch Mitch specifically, because he was asking some questions about it before we started recording. I was like, I don't know. He's like, you should probably know that. So he, like, was looking some stuff up, and apparently, like, this diary, like, he did keep his word, like he said in the diary there. But Admiral Richard E. Byrd Jr.'s son, Richard E. Byrd III, he apparently
Byrd the third?
Yeah. So
everybody's heard.
Diary.
Everybody knows that Byrd's the third.
Byrd is the third. Anyway, so he like is the one who found the diary and is the reason that it's kind of out in the public. And he died under some weird circumstances. Mitch, you probably know better than I do about the specifics of the circumstances.
Yeah.
But he was like a Harvard graduate, you said, right?
Yeah. No, he was a military guy just like his father, and he like loved his father.
Yeah.
So he like emulated his life like with his.
Yeah.
So apparently, well, they do the cop out, like they said that he had dementia like later in his life. So apparently they're supposed to go to this event that was honoring his father in D.C. It was like 100 years since his birth. And essentially what happened was he was supposed to meet his wife there, but he never made it. And he was actually missing for a couple weeks. And they found him dead in like some warehouse somewhere, like some vacant, like dirty warehouse.
Yeah.
And super, super weird circumstances.
Yeah,
so
you
apparently,
said like a janitor was like shooing him away.
Yeah.
It's like a vagrant or something.
Yeah, they thought he was like, like a homeless person or a drifter or something like that. And it was weird because they said that he was missing his teeth, and like he talked like he was like a vagrant.
Yeah.
But it's just odd because like this is a guy who's a Harvard graduate, and all of a sudden in a couple weeks,
and like
the only person that sees him is like some janitor, and they think he's some drifter, homeless person, or drug addict or something.
And in all honesty, it sounds like he was trying to live up to his father's name and like trying to honor him and that kind of shit. But yeah, and the cause of death for him was ruled to be like, what was it, malnourishment and like dehydration. Super weird way to die.
Yeah, very fishy.
Like it just so happens that he was the person that made this diary entry public of his father's. Very strange.
Yeah, I
just felt like that should be in there.
I think this is I'm glad you added that because that really adds to the kind of overall feel of this story.
Yeah, like what are they hiding?
I want you as the listener. I'm very inspired by this. Okay, I really am. I want you to take some time and just think about this and just think about the reality of what he's saying. I mean, I know we don't know this guy personally, but we have some of his background. We know that this guy fought in both world wars. He was very, decorated in both military and in just America at the time.
And he was like tenacious as fuck, dude. I mean, to get a lot of these voyages funded and everything, he had to like be on the phones, like asking for money from different people. Apparently, one of the main reasons he was actually able to do the Antarctic expeditions was because he was good friends with Henry Ford's son.
Oh, so former Nazi.
Yeah, and he pretty much. And he apparently like funded a lot of the aspects of his expeditions. Even like the plane that he used was a Ford plane.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say I want to leave this up to the viewer. From me personally, I want no swaying. I want none of my opinion injected. Just let it ride.
Startacult@gmail.com. Let us know. What do you think?
Let it ride. Let it ride. This is very interesting. And
Does the master exist?
I'll tell you this. No matter what occurs next week as far as the episode goes, I want to come back to this. I want this to be, even if it's just the intro, I want to come back to this.
No, we will. Dude, I love episodes like this.
I
And
do.
this was also like a fan request.
Yeah,
It was Jones again.
It was.
Mr.
It was.
Jonesy fly on the wall.
I'm going to tell you this. This is very intriguing, and it's sparking things in my head. Possibly, we'll see what happens. Possibly in the future, possibly even soon future.
I'm glad you're reacting like this. You were totally just nodding out while I was
But
reading.
no. See, because here's the thing. I'll just say this on the show as opposed to saying it as soon as we stop the show.
That's usually what happens.
This was actually going to be. This was just like a one-parter, you know. I did a lot of research into like pseudoscience and the theory of the Hollow Earth, but I know that I wanted to get the story out because that's the meat and the potatoes of this. But it kind of makes me want to revisit some of the research that I did and plug in some other individuals, i.e., Mr. Corey Good, that weirdo, that crazy guy, people like that. I mean, we'll reconvene, but I think this might have to be extended.
All right.
I really do,
All right.
because there's this story. It kind of has a lot of shit, and we don't really get to unpack all of that. You know
didn't
what I
even
mean?
mention. Yeah, this guy. It doesn't really have much to do with the Hollow Earth itself. Just like more the guy that it came from.
Mm.
But he had this book that he did on one of his experiences called Alone, where he was just alone in the Arctic with no connection to anyone in the outside world for like months.
Damn, that's like that Dick
yeah.
Kroenke dude. Like
And
he
I-
just went and
yeah.
built a cabin.
Dude, I think he was made to retire from the Navy because he was like sending out pictures of himself, like no haircut, and he was just like chilling out reading just in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, but I don't know. This guy himself is interesting. Hollow Earth itself is extremely interesting. Don't know how real it is, but you know what?
That's the fun.
It's full of characters like this guy.
It
So-
is. No, it
and
is. And this
I'm
is
sure
fun.
there's other diary pages with pretty good stuff.
Oh, I would have to say the same.
Yeah. And to note, there are a lot of different stories about the Hollow Earth, like from, ancient accounts and, we brushed up on that
Yeah,
a
kind of
little
like
bit.
what Grant was talking about. Yeah, with like the Nordics and all that shit.
But yeah,
And
so
Dante.
this is very intriguing. It's making me. We haven't done an episode like this in a while where it's very like it's making the motor run. I'm thinking
I haven't seen you so taken aback.
I'm thinking future here.
Long time.
So I'll be honest. I mean, I'm going to say this. I think that's this week's episode.
Yeah, Richard E. Byrd. There you go. Richard E. Byrd Jr. His
Yeah.
middle name was Evelyn.
Evolude.
yeah.
I think this is the episode, and I think that in the near future, you guys can expect some more information, not about Mr. Byrd, but we're going to take this a step further.
Yeah.
And kind of, we could piece in, if you, like we said, email us, let us know kind of what you think, and we can kind of piece some things together and create a larger image for you.
Yeah. You think he was related to Larry Bird?
Different spelling, but, close enough.
It's always possible.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know anything. But that is our episode for the week. I
It
think,
is.
as we are starting a cult that's Grant. I'm Jake. Mitch is here.
Mitch is
It's
here.
amazing. So you can follow us on all the shit. We got Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We also have the email, startacult@gmail.com. Send us some of your opinions, maybe thoughts, maybe ideas for things, for anything. The show, life, your life, who knows. But anyway, and then we also got the Patreon and YouTube. The Patreon link is below.
Yes.
So we're going to go to a Railcats game now.
That is true. Probably leave here in the next 20 minutes or
Yeah,
so.
probably. So yeah, we're gonna go watch some minor league baseball and have a good day.
Yeah, very much. We love you all, and we'll see you next Friday. Patrons on Thursday. Love you.
Goodbye.